What is going on, everybody? I hope you are all doing well. We are here with you live. Hi, everybody. How are you all doing? Right. I'm a little happier today because my 5 o'clock shadow grew back in. My beard grew back in. The other day I shaved and I'm like, oh, dear God. Hey, how are you? It's nice to see you all. Glad to be here as always. And you know what I'm going to have to say to start the show? Because I was listening to this on the way home and it always gets me fired up. Are you ready to go? Are you ready for this? Oh my God, I love Kenny Omega's song. It gets me psyched up. Butterspark, hello to you. All right, so before we get started here, as always, let me throw out some of our finer details of the show. First off, let me thank the folks at Manscaped, the good folks at Manscaped for sponsoring our show. As always, it is a week, guys. I was like shocked it's a week away. It's only a week away until Christmas. It's insane. You only have 7 more days, actually, until Christmas Eve to get your gifts. What better way to get a gift? And you can see it up there. Manscaped, refining the gentleman. Use our code Insiders for 20% off for that man in your life. Get him the Lawnmower 3 so he can get himself cleaned up, get that jungle taken care of, right? Because it's never good to have a jungle there. And the other products they have are tremendous, good stuff. And they have been nice enough to give us that code for you guys. So go out there, use it, and get that man in your life a great Christmas gift. So thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring the show as always. Secondly, yes, always do a little preview of what we got coming up for the week. So that is where I will go next. What we have coming for you, obviously tomorrow we're off. Watch for polls when we're off. I like to, hi Hayden, it's great to see you too. We like to get polls out on our days off, and we put out the polls for our awards. So make sure you're voting. I think the last couple of days one was best. Whoa, what was now? I forgot what the hell I put. Shocker. I think it was biggest comeback, biggest moment of the year. I think it was. Anyway, you can go take a look at that. Make sure that you vote. But yeah, we'll probably have another one tomorrow too, so keep watching that. Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our TLC preview show. Make sure you're here for that. Even more so because, man, did we get news today. We're not going to go over it much tonight because we've got a ton of other stuff to do, but Jody will be here. The gang will be here. We've got to talk a lot about an Inferno match that we are getting on Sunday. Is this the big, is this it? Is this the big culmination of this? Bray sent out a tweet today, and if you read it, which I'm sure many of you did, it looks like this could be the big thing. And is it a cinematic match? It could be. But we'll talk about that a lot on Saturday night, so make sure you join us for that. I'm sure you're going to want to hear what Jody's got to say about it as well. And then, of course, Sunday will be TLC. So make sure that you come along, watch TLC with us. I'm sure we're all going to mark out like fools whenever we see this Inferno match. Among other things, there's a good we got Roman Reigns and KO, which should be a great match. Some other great stuff. We got Sasha Banks and Carmella. We have some good things that might happen at TLC. So come out. Check us out on Sunday. You may watch other things, but you know what? You've got multiple devices. Put us on one of those devices. We don't care. We don't care if you use the little small cell phone screen. We don't care. Just stick us on somewhere and throw us, what do you got to lose, right? All right. So let me welcome in some people. Face everybody's like, I keep forgetting you. A lot of you guys didn't see our faces last week. Tuesday. I'm sorry. It was too good. All confused. It was Tuesday night. Heyo to Jen. Hello, how are you? Larissa, Sapphire has arrived. Hello, Sapphire, how are you? Tazzy, it's an Insiders podcast, baby. Good evening, all, says Jason Peace. Hello to you, Jason. Hayden, hello to you. There's Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you? Rusty Shackelford is here. Hello, Rusty. Kevin Correa is here. Hello, Kevin. Who else? Sean Rousset is here. Hello, Sean. Good evening. Butter Spark is here. Hello to you. Going down the list. Big Dan, what's up, Big Dan? How are you tonight? Gust is here. Hello, Gust. I hope you are well. Sonny Wolf is here. Aye, Joe and Jeff. Yes, I know. Sonny's running away. See, we're always going to meet people. All right. I think I got everybody. So hello to you all. We've got a packed show. Lots of stuff to talk about. So let us get into it, shall we? It was another crazy week in wrestling. And let's start with the hot topics. Let's start with the news, Jeff.
With the news. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Oh, my God. I even forgot. See, I'm getting all crazed out because I'm on video. My God, my co-host Jeff is here. I am so sorry. I'm all goofed up with video. Jeff, how are you, man? I hope you're doing well.
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing. See, I got my Infinity Gauntlet behind me. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I have props. I have props this evening, right. So I'm good, man. I have my here. I'll show the people my props. I have my Fiend Hammer. So there you go. I have the Fiend Hammer, and I have Lucille. I have Lucille from The Walking Dead. My Lucille bat as well. So I'm good, man. I got props tonight. I'm ready.
That's right.
Hope you are doing well, buddy, as always. All right.
Oh,
Conrad, hello to Conrad. He just joined. Hello, Jessi Calynn as well. Hope you guys are doing very well. All right, Jeff, sorry to interrupt. Let's get to the headlines here.
all right. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So the first one, obviously, we got a pretty big family reunion on Tuesday. So that's our first topic of the night.
Yeah, man. How could it not be? And Jeff, you know what? I'm going to let you go more into detail with this than I am because, again, I'm going to just openly admit, for me, watching Impact, I have only started back in Slammiversary. And I have not watched much New Japan. So you're going to know a lot more about the background of this than I do. But yes, this was kind of a shocker. I mean, we knew he was going to be on. And we didn't, but we kind of I guess was a little bit of a surprise. We got misled a bit because didn't really do anything on Impact, or I'm sorry, on AEW, other than to reiterate the same things he did on Impact. And so we kind of thought, oh, okay, it's going to be more of the same thing. He's going to be in the bus and stuff like that. And we got a little teaser that kind of showed him getting up out of the chair. And so we kind of thought, okay, is he going to come out? Is he going to go after anybody? Well, I don't think we saw a Bullet Club reunion happening, and a Bullet Club reunion that is going to lead to a match, Jeff. So, hello, C Wrestling. All right, so yeah, Jeff, you've got to go. You've got to embellish this for me because you have watched this more than I have, so you will know the importance of this much more than I will. So I'm going to defer to you.
Well, obviously, if anyone out there is familiar with New Japan, you know that there are several layers to this Bullet Club thing, and I say that kind of tongue in cheek because the Bullet Club is huge. If you haven't seen a lot of these guys, go watch, and I can guarantee that there are a lot of guys that you know very well right now that were a part of the Bullet Club. Finn Balor being one, AJ Styles, and obviously Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and the Big LG. So, this moment is kind of reforming a part of the Bullet Club from years past. And that's why this is such a big deal, because now there is the possibility that not only do you get this iteration of the Bullet Club, but you kind of open the door for current members of the Bullet Club that are wrestling for New Japan also getting involved. And I think that's where this is so monumental, is that now there's that pathway where it wasn't before, where you could get other members, current members of the Bullet Club to join in. Now, here's the other thing that I would say, and I don't know that this will ever happen. And if it does, I could die that day and be okay with it. If for whatever reason, Vince, Triple H, whoever else said, you know what, you guys used to represent the club, Finn, AJ, we give you our blessing. Go have at it. There's going to be a super show with Impact, New Japan, and AEW. Just go do it. You guys were a part of it. Just go do it. And I mean, like I said, I could die that day a very happy wrestling fan because that would be tremendous. But in all seriousness, we said this, and I don't think it's hyperbole to say this, but the landscape of professional wrestling changed on Tuesday night. Honestly, that just it's a fact. There's no getting around that. It is definitely a fact. And having these three guys on the same program talking about the club, I mean, that's a dream come true in and of itself. But then we get the match.
Yep.
Like, the thing that's getting lost in all of this is that we have a match now between Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers.
Yep.
Against Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. And I mean, if if you don't want to see the Good Brothers and the Machine Guns in a match, then we need to talk about your wrestling
Yeah, right.
knowledge there and love for wrestling. But then you throw into the mix Kenny Omega and Rich Swann, dude. I mean, Joe, what are your thoughts about this upcoming match?
Yeah, man. And see that this is why, like, I mean, people are going to look at this a whole bunch of different ways, but I have to look at it from the perspective of being an Impact fan, and man, this is killer. Like, this is honestly killer. I thought a lot about this after this all happened. And I looked at it, and then of course you had AEW last night, and Kenny showed up there, had a little match with Joey Janela, which he won, and then and then you had a confrontation with him and Pac afterwards, and then another match being made. But I don't know. I mean, I think that so far this has got to be going Impact's way, and this could be all Don Callis. I mean, Don Callis is an executive for Impact, so of course he's going to maybe be a little biased towards his promotion, which, I mean, who can blame him? But I mean, man, oh man, like you said, that match is amazing. I mean, here we go. This is what we were, the fantasy booking was coming out. This is what people were talking about. This is a fantasy match that you didn't think you would see. And Kenny Omega, and the Good Brothers against, Motor City Machine Guns and Rich Swann. This has the makings of a stellar match. I mean, We've seen Rich Swann. You guys have been watching Impact with us. You know what this guy can do in the ring. You know what the Motor City Machine Guns can do in the ring. I mean, you have got to be super excited about this match. And like Kenny Omega or not, and I know some of you don't, and that's fine. But to see Kenny Omega in there with Rich Swann, I mean, mind blown. And if this is just the start of this, and if this is just the beginning and the makings of things that they're going to be doing, I count me in. Count me in.
Yeah,
man.
And like I said, I mean, I think this is all leading up to a super show, and I think we'll see that kind of come to fruition at AEW's show in February at Revolution. I think that's where we will see New Japan get involved at that particular pay-per-view, and then we start to get off to the races. Like, no, see, I'm not doing. C wants me to put you on the large screen.
No, we don't want to. You don't need a bigger picture of my head. No, what do you need a picture of my head for?
No telling. No telling. But yeah, we. I think that's when we'll get off to the races with that, and who knows what will happen from there. I mean, I think Rocky Romero being involved in New Japan, and I said this the other night, I think him being involved in New Japan only helps that relationship that AEW and New Japan are trying to continue to work on, because a lot of AEW's guys work with New Japan, so it makes all the sense in the world for them to be able to work together. And then when you add Impact into the mix, I mean, we're in for a treat. If you're a wrestling fan, you're in for a treat. And just think about this. Think about January 16th when this match takes place, only a couple weeks into the year, and you probably are already going to see something that will have a claim at match for the year between these 6 guys. I mean, that's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and what a way for Impact to finish out their year. We all kind of thought that they were going to finish out on the, on Final Resolution, that was going to be it. At least I thought that way. I didn't know that, and then we found out, okay, they're going to have a show. Then we found out Kenny was coming on, but what a way for them to finish. And now you get this anticipation and build up. And they're going to do some award shows the next couple of weeks. So, okay, whatever it is, whatever you think of that, and WWE will have their award show as well. They always do. So, whatever you get out of those, you get out of those. A lot of promos and awards and things like that. But man, now you have this to look forward to. Amazing. Rusty said, do you believe that this will really pressure Vince enough to decide to get involved in this intercompany challenge?
We're going to talk about that.
Segue. Nice segue, Rusty, but thank you. Nice segue, buddy. He's talking about sending me Deadpool statues, and no, I wouldn't put them behind me on the set. So no, to answer your question. See, I don't know why you need my head bigger. Here, I'll go really close. There you go. Look, now my head's bigger. Now my big head's right in the middle of the screen. There. Rich one sucks, says Larissa. Okay. Well, yeah, geez. Okay. Whatever. You guys all can think what it is you want to think. Are you guys streaming the Slammies on the 23rd? I don't know. Award shows tend to be weird. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's always a possibility if there's enough people out there with a want for it, or if you guys really dig it or think that it would be cool. It's always a possibility, I guess. Big Dan says the Tony Khan aspect of this angle reminds me a little bit of when Vince McMahon was a heel in USWA in the early 90s. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is he playing a heel or is he just being himself? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see the more it goes. And see how everything has. So if we get a match theoretically between Rosemary and Thunder Rosa, which company profits from the match? Both. Sure. Yeah. And yeah, maybe that's what will happen. And
I think AEW benefits because it's another well-known female wrestler that is bringing more eyes to that division for AEW. It's crazy to say this, but Impact, their knockouts division, can genuinely help propel AEW's women's division. Just because of the sheer talent that Impact possesses in the knockouts division. I honestly think that this would help them more so than anything, especially with those matches with the knockouts in the women's division there. And I mean, go ahead and give me go ahead and give me that matchup. Go ahead and give me Jordan Grace and Big Swole.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or Jordan Grace and Nyla Rose. Go ahead and give me that. Give me Big Swole and just
Kiera Hogan or
Tasha Steelz.
That's where we come in with the whole fantasy stuff. And again, we talked about, we talked about Rosemary and Abaddon. I mean, there's people on Rosemary's Twitch streams that are saying that. Like, oh, we would love to see you wrestle Abaddon. I mean, see, this is where we get more into the fantasy stuff. And, fantasy is great. And this is great for wrestling. This is absolutely great for wrestling. It gets you excited because it's things that you're not used to seeing. People want things you can't predict. Well, what more, can you get that you can't predict than things like this? Because you just don't know where, you don't know where we're going with any of this. And that's what makes this all fun and exciting, because you can't predict it. We live in a world that you can predict everything. Trust me, I know. I'm Captain Spoiler. I spoil everything for myself most of the time. And that comes because you can find anything out if you try hard enough. You can get information on anything. Movies that are coming out, books that are coming out. You can find out anything if you look hard enough. And to not be able to predict this kind of stuff, if that's where they're going, kudos to them, because that is only going to make everybody that much more excited to see where things are going. So, yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for this, and I can't wait to see where they go. And I can't wait. I mean, look, it gives us something to look forward to. I said this the other night on the show. We got to get away from 2020 and get into 2021 any way we can. And, now we already have things to look forward to. And we're going to talk a little bit later about January, because January is going to be an absolutely insane month for wrestling. So
we might actually talk about that right now.
There you go. Segue.
There you go.
I love Segue.
This January is going to shape up pretty nicely. I mean, we start out with a fire episode of Impact on January 5th.
Mm-hmm.
The next night, we get New Year's Evil from NXT. Yep. That weekend, we get Genesis from Impact. The following weekend, we get Hard to Kill, and we've already found out what the main event is for Hard to Kill. And then later in the month, the very next weekend, as a matter of fact, we get the Rumble.
My goodness.
And
if you
mixed in there, we have Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh man. No rest for anyone doing anything via wrestling in January, because wow. What a month January is going to be. And we're finding little bits of stuff out about a lot of this stuff. I mean, the Rumble is still, to me, my most looked forward pay-per-view from WWE. It still is. I like it because of the whole countdown thing. I like the surprises that can happen in the Rumble. So that has always been one of my favorites to look forward to. But now with all this stuff, with the two things from Impact we've got, they just talked about an X Division. And again, Jeff, I'll have to defer. Again, I have to defer to Jeff with this too, because this is something I haven't seen. That was just mentioned. And then, of course, shout out, by the way, to NXT, because I was looking at that logo, and I told Tazzy last night, I'm like, I know that devil logo. I know that that's from somewhere, like in my youth someplace. I had to go back to comic books that I used to read in my grandfather's barber shop. There was a comic book called Little Devil. Yep. And that's what they took that from. I'm like, oh my God! Like, I showed it to Tazzy last night. I'm like, it was a devil in a diaper, and it was a comic book, a comic strip back in the day. I'm like, that's amazing. That's awesome. And Dexter Lumis is hosting it.
That's gonna be
I mean, Dexter Lumis hosting anything. He was drawing last night. He was doing like drawings on a sketchboard last night. That was really cool. Butterspark, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll get surprises, whether it's going to be people coming up from NXT, which I think that's going to be a lot of the case in the Rumble this year. Whether it's going to be surprise entrance from NXT. We might get a surprise on Sunday, because obviously we have a TBD partner for Asuka. So we may get a bit of a surprise early, but I think the Rumble will have it. It always does. It always does. But Jeff, talk about that Genesis thing, because again, this is something I have yet to see, and man, I'm even more excited now for Genesis.
Man, the Super X tournament. Basically all the X division competitors, and I mean, it's just going to be absolutely amazing. And hopefully this is getting us a little bit closer to an Ultimate X match. And if you're a fan of Impact and you've seen it before, then you know what I'm talking about. But if not, you have two ropes across the top of the ring that are crossed in an X, and the X Division belt is is held above the ring. And the goal is, instead of a ladder match, you have to carry yourself over to the middle of those ropes and snatch that title down. And we kind of saw that in the flashbacks this past week with Rich Swann. I thought it was very, very telling that they showed a lot of X Division flashbacks this past week of Impact, and now we know why. Now we know that they were planting the seeds to do this match, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see this, because I think Genesis is going to set the tone for what we see at Hard to Kill. And I think Hard to Kill is going to be fire, not just because of the one match that we already have confirmed, but I think it's just going to be fire.
Everybody's asking what's behind me, and I'm wondering if they're joking or they're talking about my Infinity Gauntlet that's over on the other side. This side of my head, that's Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. That's a prop. I had to put props up. Yeah, Jeff, I agree. I'm excited. Again, see, this is cool for me because I'm super. There you go. You can see the Infinity Gauntlet better now. It actually lights up. Wait here. I think I showed you the other day. Maybe if not, I will show you now. if you put it on like this. I could give you guys the finger with the Infinity Gauntlet. It's actually on the wrong hand, but that's what it does. So there you go. Jeff, I totally agree. I'm very excited about this kind of stuff that I didn't get to see yet. And again, like I was saying in the last segment, this is all kind of new, and it's new for me. I haven't seen a lot of this, so to me, this is really, really cool because it's something that I'll get to see for the first time, and I'm excited. That kind of stuff excites me. Recently in recent weeks, when I watched the Pure tournament from Ring of Honor, again, different, very different, and it was exciting to see because it was just very, very, very different to watch because it was really like just wrestling. It was just wrestling, and if you're a fan of that, you got to watch that because it really is just like not a lot of gimmicks, not a lot of craziness going on. It's just wrestling. So to me, it was fun to watch, and I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see this stuff. Conrad says, "Hard to Kill," hosted by Steven Seagal. Oh, gotta love good Steven Seagal movies, man. I love that one where he's on the battleship. Whenever that's on, I'll watch it. I don't remember the name of it, but he was on that battleship trying to escape from that.
Oh God. Listen, Hard to Kill was one of his only really good movies, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them just get completely crazy, and I think he was a cook on that sub, and he just happened to be going, and then somebody hijacked.
Okay, Butter Part. Yeah.
There you go. Under Siege, yes. Under Siege 2 was very poor. That was one where he was on a train, and it was awful. But yeah, kudos, Conrad. Nice shout out for nice shout out. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Jeff, I'm super concerned for Joe. There's something behind him. I've sent it to you.
See, that's just messed up, man. That's messed up.
What's he doing?
Oh, I'm not showing it to you.
No, don't even stick it up there if it's something going down the stairs behind me because that's probably what his project was. He was probably
getting exactly what his project was.
Yeah, you're getting the gift of the Exorcist chick coming down the stairs, weren't you? Because he sent that to me I don't know how many times. No, thank you, and no, I'm not watching. See, look at they're playing with my house already. And this is what then you wonder why I didn't want to do video because I knew there'd be crazy stuff going on like this. Dude. No. Not watching it ever. No. All right. So but yes, let's go on to the next topic, shall we?
Yeah, I'm never showing him that. See, so just know
that. See, Jeff's a good friend. Jeff's a good friend. See that's people trying to terrify me when I'm on video now. You guys are horrible. Anyway, should have seen it coming. We said we're not going to spend too much time on this, and we're not. But we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it. And we'll go into detail about this on Saturday, much more details on Saturday. But we have a Firefly Inferno match, which was just announced today. We didn't know what was coming. We kind of got hints, of course, with the fire when they, when he set Bray on fire when he was inside that box. We kind of figured something might be coming, right? The kicker to this. And this is all I'm going to go with this because we could talk about this with Jody on Saturday night. Mm-hmm. The word Firefly is where this gets me. And is this going to be another Funhouse match? Is this going to be another Funhouse match with, the ring on fire, similar to the Cena thing? Are we getting a cinematic match here? This is what I'm wondering. This is what has me intrigued. Or are we just going to get an Inferno match? Are they just calling it a Firefly Inferno match, and it's just going to be an Inferno match where they have the fire outside the ring, like we saw with Kane and Taker, and in the past? I don't know. I don't know which way they're going to go. We'll talk about it more on Saturday with Jody. We'll see what Jody's theories are on this, of course. But yes, this was announced today. As I said earlier, Bray then made a comment on Twitter to Randy about C's favorite thing to talk about, the circles. Life is a circle. We got a circle. It all comes full circle. We'll talk about that on Saturday night. We threw out a teaser, but we'll talk about this on Saturday night.
Yes.
because that's the place for it. Come and watch our preview for TLC. And you will get all of the Bray Wyatt information about this match that we can possibly give you to get ready for it. So Jody's saying in the chat she has a theory. So there you go. We will have that on Saturday night. So come back and see us. We'll be on video. Maybe I'll wear my Fiend mask. Maybe I'll bring out my Fiend lamp and I'll just have it in front of me. I don't know. But yes. So come back Saturday. And get your fill of this match and all the matches in TLC on our preview show. Yeah. Okay. So you said I literally mentioned circles on my videos 3 hours before Bray tweeted. Just saying. Hey. Okay, Jeff. What's next, man?
WrestleMania 37 rumors.
Yes. The rumor mill starts.
Yeah.
The rumor mill starts.
So apparently we have some rumors that if The Rock can't wrestle Roman, then we're possibly looking at a Roman and either Brock or Roman and Drew. There are a lot of things swirling around out there. So, but nothing is confirmed yet. And that's why I wanted to bring it up tonight, because nothing is confirmed. But, there's the small chance that The Rock won't be able to be involved because of his filming schedule.
It doesn't surprise me, honestly, because, again, you're going into 2021 when a lot of these movie companies are going to get back to doing what they were doing before. Regardless of now, we know they don't care about being in theaters anymore. The WB is putting all of their stuff on HBO Max. If Disney starts to do similar things, which they can't be putting it off anymore, they have a whole full slate of Marvel stuff that they're getting ready to do. And The Rock is starring in a DC film. So that film as well, Black Adam, may end up debuting on HBO Max. And if it does, he's going to have a busy slate. The dude is a busy guy. So if that doesn't happen, yes, Eric, that's kind of why I rolled my eyes before, because I thought Jeff was going to say that name.
I left that out just
thank you.
I knew someone was going to say it in the chat. So
yeah, appreciate that. Because that's a possibility too, as sad as that may be. I tweeted out to Eric and to Dave's fan, who apologized he couldn't make it tonight. Shout out to Dave's fan. No worries, dude. But I sent out a tweet to them with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was asked about Goldberg, and Kevin Owens came back and said, I wouldn't really necessarily like to be in another match with him, because I like to have matches where, he said, if we were in a match together, I would like it to be, a well drawn out, fleshed out storyline where it would be about a 10-minute match. And he said, frankly, he doesn't do those anymore. And he said, I don't want to be in a match with him where it's a 30-second squash. So, I mean, there you go. That's as honest as you can get from Kevin Owens, saying that he doesn't want to be in a squash match. And if that's what it's going to be, who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? So when we talk about Goldberg, this is why we talk, I know you guys laugh about this and everything in the chat, but this is why we talk about Goldberg, because this is what he's come to, and is he going to come out and squash Roman Reigns? No way in hell are they going to let him squash Roman Reigns. So this is going to be a probably 30-second to a minute squash by Roman Reigns. That's what it's going to be. And I hate to tell you that, guys, but that's what you're going to get. And do you really want that as a headliner in WrestleMania? Do you? Do you really want that to be your WrestleMania main event? I know I don't. And I hope to God if that's what happens, they don't make that the main event, because I certainly don't want that. Would be, that WrestleMania would be right off the bat would be like, no. So yeah, but yeah, like Jeff said, I mean, there's other things they could. I mean, obviously Roman and Drew happened already. If that happens again, everybody would be in. Everybody would be in. Yeah. That was a great match the first time, and I'm sure whether or not they have fans, which. Hey guys, there's a vaccine going around. Maybe they'll have some fans. Fingers crossed. But If they have fans, that would be Drew's big match, Drew's big moment in front of fans, Roman's big moment in front of fans with this new character. And of course, Roman Rock would bring the house down. Would absolutely bring the house down, because that's where this whole story is leading up to. But 'tis the season for rumors. This is when it all starts. Once Christmas passes and we get through the end of the year, we turn right around and you're into WrestleMania season. So we're going to start hearing it, guys. Like it or not. If you don't like to be spoiled, stay off the dirt sheets, because you just never know when they're going to. I mean, hey, like Jeff said, I always go back to this quote. Every now and then the sun shines. What is it? It's from White Man Can't Jump. The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. That's the way I look at dirt sheets, because every now and then they do get one right. So every now and then, it doesn't happen often, but every now and then they get one right. So if you don't want to be spoiled, avoid the dirt sheets. Okay, what is next, my friend?
All right, man. Well, I think we are ready for. Well, let me go back. I don't want to jump the gun here. Ready for our hot topic of the week.
All right, and let's go to the hot
topic.
Hold on,
before we do that, because we did get a lot of snow here in the Northeast. Let's warm up a little bit.
Put your hands out to the fire. Jeff got more snow than I did. I live in the mountains. I thought I was going to get clobbered. We ended up with about 14, 15 inches of snow, I think, and Jeff got almost 30?
Yeah, we got 29. So
that's insane. That is insane. That's an insane amount. If you guys don't live in an area that gets snow, I know some of our friends overseas. I know like C Wrestling and James Chadwick and people who live overseas and don't see it. Wow, that is a lot of snow. That over 2 feet of snow. When you get that in a snowstorm, I mean that buries cars. So crazy. And yes, we did. So yes, hold your hands by the fire, warm your hands on the fire. It's time for J&J's Hot Topic. So what is our hot topic tonight, Jeff?
So how will WWE, aka Vince McMahon, respond to this partnership that we've seen between Impact and AEW?
Oh man, and Rusty, there you go. There's your topic that you segued us marvelously into. I'll tell you, I don't know how. Getting them involved with NXT and maybe doing something together, is that enough? I mean, they did that before. They did that last year, of course, when they got stuck in Saudi and they had to involve NXT in a lot of the WWE goings on. People seem to really dig it. So, is that how they're going to do it? I mean, Triple H came out and said, we're open to anything. The problem is now, who are you going to grab? I mean, now you've got Impact and AEW working together. It kind of almost seems like they may be including NWA a little bit. So if those three are kind of working together, who do you have? Ring of Honor? Maybe. I mean, there are other promotions out there. They tried to work with New Japan a little bit in the past. All I'm going to say to this question and this hot topic is they better. Because, man, oh, man, you're taking eyes away from WWE. Now, right now, WWE, listen, where they're positioned, they're on Monday night. There's no one else on Monday night. They're on Friday night. There's no one else on Friday night. So other than with NXT and AEW on Wednesdays, there's no real competition going up against them. But you're getting eyes off the product. And this is the stuff that Vince thinks about. Vince, this is the kind of stuff that goes around in Vince's head. And this is what he thinks about is you're taking eyes off of my product. And that's all, I better do something really quick. There you go. You got a video, Vince. But they better because these other people mean business. Don Callis has been on countless interviews over the last couple of weeks. And I watched one of them the other day. It was on Facebook. He is literally, and I think he's serious. He's literally coming out saying, you know what? And he kind of even dissed Tony Khan a little here too, because he came out and said, some people give a damn about ratings. I don't care about ratings. I care about making history. And wow, like that's a statement. That's a statement. He doesn't care about, he doesn't give a damn about ratings. He doesn't. And why would he? You know, I mean, so if that's the case, and you've got someone like that that's doing that kind of a thing, boy, man, they really should. They really, if they don't care already, they really should. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, if you have not, if before you were thinking, okay, well, you know, yeah, they might do something, but it's not going to be a big deal. After this Tuesday, we call that the pucker factor. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you're not puckering just a little bit, then something is wrong with you and you really don't care. You gotta do something to respond. Whether, and I get it, it's difficult to do right now with all of the circumstances surrounding COVID. But you know what? Impact and AEW found a way.
They did.
Deep as your pockets are, Vince McMahon, you can find a way too. It doesn't have to be a huge invasion. Doesn't have to be a laundry list of people. But if you get the right one or two names involved, you can switch this thing on its head. So, I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. Could we see something with Ring of Honor? It's possible. But honestly, you got to do something, and you got to do it, and it needs to happen at the Rumble. And I don't even know that you could wait until that long now because of the fact that Hard to Kill is going to happen before that. I think you have to start creating buzz as soon as we get into the new year. And honestly, I mean, you got to do something, even if it's one or two names. And as much as I hate to say this, and I really don't want to say this, but maybe this might be the spot where you just have to back up the Brinks truck to one CM Punk.
Mr. Punk.
And say, listen, dude, we're sorry we were jerks to you and fired you on your wedding day, but yeah, we kind of need you, and we're gonna skyrocket you and hope for the best. But yeah, and that will see. I mean, Rusty just brought up something great. Vince, have some talent. Make a trip up to Nashville during Impact tapings.
Oh, like the DX angle. Yeah, I see his comment.
Go WCW on them.
Yeah.
Go that route, because that's when the balance of power started shifting back into the favor of WWF at the time. Yep. Go that route, because I guarantee you, here's a cool thing about that. Impact and AEW are crazy enough to let you in. They would let you in. It wouldn't be like WCW. They would let you in.
Yeah.
And then we could see what happens.
Yeah, man. I think it's to the point where you got to be a little bit more open-minded. And if Triple H is the one that's going to end up taking over the kingdom here, then maybe Triple H is starting to kind of think, well, okay, I went out and got Taker. Taker now is going to be working for us on NXT. What that's going to be and what capacity, we don't know. Is he a mind that's going to maybe think up some of this kind of stuff with storylines and things? You know, could they get back to something like Jeff said? I don't know. But here's what I will say to finish this off. You cannot ignore it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot ignore a historical event happening in wrestling right now. You can't ignore it. Does he think that he's just going to make the call on the Vince bat phone and just call up somebody to come? You got to come back. I got to bring a legend back. I got to bring a legend back. This is how he always feels and panics this way and thinks that this is going to cut it. It's not. It's not going to cut it. Now, like Jeff said, you bring a name back like CM Punk, yes. And I'm not a big Punk fan, but I mean, look, he was huge. And everybody had said when he was on backstage that could you imagine if he announced he was coming back, it would break the internet. You're right. And Big Dan just said that. It would be the holy shit moment of 2021, bar none. Yes. So if he would get desperate enough to do that and get rid of his ego, yeah. But see, that's the thing. You've got to let go and start to realize the first thing I think they need to do, if you want to talk about firsts, fix Raw. You need to fix Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Raw's a mess. Raw's an absolute mess. You take The Fiend and Alexa and Orton out of that, what do you have? You have a jumbled mess. I mean, you're having Matt Riddle coming out saying bro nuts and bro nouns and bro, like you've got to. Yes, it was. This past week I enjoyed what they did this past week, and if they want to go that route with the comedy, go that route with the comedy. That's perfectly fine. You've got people who can do it. You've got obviously R-Truth. You've got Bray was even involved a little bit. Riddle is involved. I hate not calling him Matt Riddle, but Riddle was involved. You have the people that do that, and if that's what you're going to do to entertain people with the comedy stuff, okay, then go that route. That's fine. Give us something, but you got to fix Raw, man. Raw's a nightmare. Raw is an absolute nightmare. It has to be. You've got to fix it. You've got to fix it because splitting the guys up, like we had talked about this before when they had the draft, splitting up Roman and Bray, they did that. They had to do it. You could not keep those two on the same show. Big merch guys can't be on the same show. So they did that. But now you have nothing but Bray on Raw. You take a long, hard look at Raw and you've got nothing. You've got to bring some maybe high-profile women back. Maybe Charlotte comes back on Sunday and maybe Charlotte goes to Raw. Maybe we get Ronda Rousey back and Ronda Rousey goes to Raw. But you've got to do something with Raw. Man, Raw is a mess. And they've got to fix it. They've got to fix it. Or do what everybody had said over the past year and make it a damn 2-hour show. Cut that damn last hour, make it a 2-hour show from 9 to 11 and be done with it. Be done with it. Because right there in those 2 hours, you can have Bray involved in 10 minutes in one segment with a Funhouse segment and then have him involved in another way. You can get your big player involved 2 times in a show. And it's not going to feel like it went on and on and on and on. Right. But they've got it. I can go on and on about it. I'm not going to because we've got a short. We've got a bunch of stuff that we've got to get to. Yeah. But that would be my first thing to do. Conrad said Raw was better under Heyman. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was. I mean, who is writing it? Like seriously, who is the creative writing Raw? I don't know. But man, but if you want a starting point, that's where you got to start. But the thing is, Vince has to admit it. He has to suck it up and say, you know what? These guys are doing cool things right now. We're not so much. So he's got to admit it and he's got to get to the point. I always, and I've talked to Jeff about this. I'm a Cowboys fan. I compare Vince to Jerry Jones. Always have, always will. The reason the Cowboys suck is because Jerry Jones can't get past his own ego. He can't admit when he makes a mistake, when he hires the wrong coach, when he brings in a player and pays him too much. He can't admit it. And because of that, they're going to be mediocre for a long, long time. And that's what's going to happen in WWE. You guys, I know a lot of you are big WWE fans, and that's perfectly fine. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm glad you enjoy every show that they do. But they are going to get to the point where they're not going to be the be all and end all show that everybody's talking about the following week. It's going to get to that point, and it already is. Be wary. My wife just went across the background. Hello, there's my wife back there. But yes, be wary, Vince. Be wary. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, you're not the only big game in town, and honestly, WWE is so archaic at this point. Yeah. Because it's let's take this one person and let's ride them. Except this isn't the 80s anymore, and you don't have Hulk Hogan and all these
Yeah.
other people. So what you have to do now is you have to be different. You have to be edgy. You have to be able to go after, and I hate to say this because I hate talking about it, but you have to go after that demographic that actually wants to invest in your product. So by doing that, you're going to have to do something with the language. You're going to have to not be so formulaic and scripted with your promos. Let these guys shoot because they can do it. They can all shoot. Let them do it and just go for it and see how it goes. Because I guarantee you this: if they said for the month of January, got folks, no more scripted promos. You guys just run with it for the month of January. I'll tell you this: the ratings can't get worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just you gotta do something to shake everything up, and you gotta do something real quick, because if you don't, you're gonna be in trouble. And now you've got so many different companies, and what AEW has done is said, you know what? If we can't beat them money wise, then how about all of us join together? And pretty soon that's going to create enough of a groundswell where WWE might be saying, oh crap, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I mean, see, and when you know you're the big gun in the room, there's no real need to make changes.
You don't have to do anything. You're just like, oh, they can't catch up.
Yeah, when you're that confident that you know that you're the only game in town, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, man, they do. I agree with you. They need to make some changes. They need to make some changes. Let me go back. I think we had. Oh, there we go. Anthony, welcome to the show. By the way, Anthony Menzano says, "Do you think that once Vince steps down, there's more of a chance they start thinking of doing crossover shows?" Well, yeah, because it's going to change things. The whole question is when does that happen? Vince may never step down. Vince may never step down. That's the thing. And that's where I go back to the Cowboys comparison. Jerry Jones ain't going to step down. He's going to be there till the day he dies or the day he gets sick enough where he can't do it anymore. And I'm thinking, what is going to happen with Vince? So I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to. Butterspark says, how is creative so uncreative? Yeah. AEW helped divide up the pie in simple terms, says Conrad. Yeah.
Very true. That's it.
They have. They have. All right, let's roll on here. Jeff, what do we have up next?
All right, my friends. So what we have up next is one of my favorite segments.
Moda is here. Hello, Moda. Top 3 of the week. Yes. Love this segment too. Positive stuff. Always love this. I kind of nickname it my mark out moment of the week. Tell us what yours are. Always good to hear what yours are. Tell us what your mark out moments of the week were. I love this segment. We just added this to the show about a month and a half ago, and it's always good to find the positives of what happened this past week in wrestling. So, Jeff, what is your number 3?
Oh man, my number 3 moment of the week. I know everybody probably thinks I'm frozen right now. I'm not. I'm just trying to think on the fly. No, honestly, it's been this build with the Fiend and Randy Orton, and what they did Monday night was just absolutely, yes, pun intended, fire. Yep. It was amazing, and it's just a masterpiece. And you know, we talked about this on Abby's on Monday, and man, I mean, we talked about the possibility of fire being involved. And now that it actually is, good grief. I'm so glad that we don't have to pay for pay-per-views anymore, because I'd be one broke soul, because I'd have to take my last money to see this match on Saturday. So
yes, sir.
that's my number 3 for the week.
Yeah, I mean, who could argue? And that seems to be the consensus of the chat. Bray Orton, Raw, obviously says, "See, Fiend out of fire moment is weak for me. My mark out moment was when the Insiders went live video," says Rusty. Well, thank you, Rusty.
Well, thank you.
It's about time, isn't it? Yeah, Calynn Corner says that was truly a mark out moment. Let's see. Hide and seek Bray, Fiend with the fire amaze balls. Modus says, "I've still got Sting hangover. Does that count?" Sure. Why not?
Sure.
You count anything, dude. It's your list. My number 3, I'm going to go to NXT, and I'm going to go to another return in Mr. Karrion Kross. It wasn't much of a match. It was a squash. But look, the fact that he's back, you know what? These guys come back so much quicker now. Like, you would think an injury like that, he would have been out until at least, and I was thinking Rumble. I was thinking he was going to show up at the Rumble because, and maybe not even really get knocked around very much. But the fact that he came back so quickly, and god damn that entrance, dude. That entrance is just fire. I don't care how many times I see it. That entrance that he's got is absolute fire. And if you ever put him and Bray in a match, I might die. I like the 2 of the best entrances I have ever seen. And oh my goodness, I am just I'm thrilled he's back. It's a big thing for NXT because Karrion Kross brings like a, Loomis is great with the scary a little bit with the, but Karrion Kross brings that element of that they do up on the main roster. The element of, and he's not an out-and-out horror guy per se. He's not wearing a mask. He's not wearing makeup or anything. But the whole thing that he brings to that show, I think it's a needed thing for them right now. They lost some people, and it's a needed thing for them. And the fact that he's back, I think, is only going to vault NXT up even higher. I think at first I was saying he's gone. I thought he was going to the main roster, but now I kind of rethinking that because I think they need him there. And I think that they'll keep him there for a little while, at least until he fights Finn Balor. That's going to happen. And what is that going to be? Is it going to be the first appearance of Demon Balor in NXT? Because we have not seen the Demon Balor character in a long time.
Very long time.
Long time. So is that going to happen in NXT? Because, man, I'll tell you, you get Demon Balor and you get Karrion Kross going one-on-one in a pay-per-view. Oh, boy. So I'm really happy Karrion Kross is back. I'm happy he's healthy, and it's good to see him back. So that's my number 3. Jeff, what is your number 2?
Man, my number 2 moment. It was difficult to decide between these 2 because both have a case for number 1. But in my opinion, this is gonna sound crazy, but the family reunion is number 2 for me. Seeing Omega and Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson reuniting and seeing them on the same screen talking about the Bullet Club, talking about, what they're going to do, and actually seeing them get into a physical altercation with the Machine Guns and Rich Swann. That for me, now obviously my number 1 must, it may
number 1's going to be
it may involve someone else, but that might be involved in the same thing. But yeah, I just think that was such a great moment, and obviously it changed the landscape of professional wrestling, I believe. And I think it was kind of interesting. Kenny Omega has said recently that he wouldn't mind AEW working with WWE. He has said that in an interview. How stupid and ridiculous would it be if Impact, AEW, New Japan, And late to the party, WWE did this big, huge super show. At some point, not this year. It's not going to happen in 2021. But I think if Vince and Triple H are smart, they will see how this goes initially, and then they'll come to the table and say, "Okay, let's play ball. Let's try to get this thing done for the fans, because that's what the fans want." And I think what Vince and WWE will soon realize is the letters on your company don't mean as much as the entertainment that you're providing the fans. I can get entertaining matches from a show that I watch in a high school gym if it's done the right way. They don't have to be overproduced and done a certain way. So that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, that's my number 2 for the week. Okay.
My number 2 was your number 3. The Bray moment, fire. Absolutely. And it was fire, but it was fire.
Fire. Literal fire.
It was fire. Literal fire. It was very hot. It was hot. That look, I didn't know where they were going with it. And again, I love to be surprised. I didn't know where they were going with it. I saw, we saw the hide and seek thing. We saw the whole field trip thing with the puppets in the audience, which was fun. I mean, it was fun. Then we saw Bray go backstage playing the little game of hide and seek, and he ran into R-Truth, and R-Truth got. I didn't know I didn't know that puppet was so gigantic. Good Lord, is that puppet big? His head is as big as R-Truth's head. I didn't know that was the case, and we went, and of course R-Truth saying, "Is this your son?" I mean, that was amazing. R-Truth is we've said this before. R-Truth is a treasure. And he's just comedy gold. And we've said that before. And then of course when he went to Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle saying he could be in the funhouse talking about pronouns. And I thought it was great. I thought the whole thing was great. And then we got the chair. We got the rocking chair. I mean, that almost had me mark out the way it was. He went and sat in the chair. Yeah. So, I mean, what are you thinking from, the rocking chair? What do you think is going to happen there? Is he going to, and then you're thinking, well, is it going to be Cult Leader Bray's going to pop out somewhere? And then Randy comes in and he beats him. We knew Randy was going to sneak out of there. So we knew that was going to happen. Beats him up, throws him in the box. And then as soon as I saw the gasoline, I'm like, I know where they're going. I know where they're going. Shades of Undertaker. I know where they're going. Absolutely. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. You see him burn. And they told a story how when Randy did this before, he accidentally poured gas on his feet. Yeah. And he actually lit his feet on fire when he did this before. So you notice how careful he was with the gasoline going around the outside of that box. Well, now you know why. But to see him burn that, and then to see the Fiend pop out of that box when it was on fire, amazing. We have said this all throughout our history on this podcast. And then when we started with Abby's, this is what we wanted to see. Yes. And man, we're getting it. And we're going to talk about it more tomorrow, or Saturday rather. We're going to talk about this way more on Saturday. We are getting it in spades. And where this is going to go, where this thing on Sunday is going to be, how bad are we may Jody's going to mark out so bad she won't be able to talk. We're all going to be screaming during this match. And again, how cool is that when you have that to look forward to in a wrestling pay-per-view? Amazing. Absolutely. That's my number 2. Go ahead, Jeff. Right. What's your number 1, man?
Number 1, plain and simple. I'm not even going to beat around the bush about this. Chris Bay and Rich Swann put on a clinic of a match, and I use this moment because this is historical in ways. This was only maybe the 3rd or 4th time that 2 African-American wrestlers were in the main event of a title match on a pay-per-view. And I want you to think about that. I mean, that's a big deal.
It's crazy.
And yeah, it's crazy. And not only did they, compete in the match, but it's a late addition for match of the year, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because what they did in that match was absolutely insane. From start to finish, it was a great match. And I mean, you really can't you can't argue with that. I mean, we saw people who they're not fans of Rich Swann. And yes, he had some things happen in his personal life that are just, you can feel how you want to feel about it, and I completely understand. We had people who do not like Rich Swann that sung the praises of that matchup because of the story that they told and the amazing action in that match. So kudos to Rich Swann and Chris Bay. Chris Bay, he's a star. And in a year from now, I think people are going to be like, man, where did this guy Chris Bay come from? And then some of you guys that are in the chat with us right now who've been right along the ride with us on Impact, and those of you who remember him from the Indies and from his time in WWE, you'll be able to say, I saw this guy win. You know, and I saw this guy when he got this start and when he got the opportunity, and he catapulted from there. And I just think that 2021 is going to be the year of Chris Bay.
Great shout. Then that was an amazing match. Absolutely amazing match. They were getting kudos from people all over Twitter, and the people that were in other companies, people that were in other. I mean, Brian Myers came out and said, if I had to pick people to wrestle, I would pick Rich Swann and Chris Bay. I mean, that's kudos from your peers. That's big, man. That's big. And when people who are noticing that kind of stuff, yeah, that was a fantastic match. Absolutely fantastic match. Great pay-per-view, by the way, mini pay-per-view, whatever they're calling them, but great stuff on Saturday night that we got to see. So, yeah. My number one, this was kind of a no-brainer, and Jeff already talked about it, of course, the Kenny Omega moment, but I'm going to give it a 1A, and I'll tell you why. But yes, the Kenny Omega moment, again, and I told you guys this as well, we could be living wrestling history, and I love that. I absolutely love that, and I absolutely love that Don Callis is playing that up. I love that he's saying we're making history, because you know what? They are. They are. And if this is going to lead to bigger and better things, we've talked about this earlier, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But here's my 1A, the damn Karate Man. The Karate Man. I love that guy. I absolutely love that gimmick. Look, I've said this before. I'm an 80s camp guy. I love 80s stuff. I mean, this is about as campy as it can be, but I love it. Man, Ethan Page is killing it with his, with these multiple personalities that he's doing and everything like that. We saw him fly out to the ring. He gets decked and he's down. He's gone. And even Jeff called, hey, Jeff again. Jeff's been calling stuff all week. Jeff goes, what if he comes back as the Karate Man? And it didn't even dawn on me. I'm like, and he was laid out. You didn't see him. And then all of a sudden, boop, comes the Karate Man into the ring. And I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. We didn't see him. We've seen him on Talking Shop too. But you know what? Say what you will about the North. Say what you, because they're a fantastic tag team. They were ranked, I think, 4th in PWI for tag teams this year. That's amazing. Say what you want about them, because they're really, really good. But what this guy's doing is he's making his own brand. He really is. And he's doing it well. I mean, he's creating his own brand, Ethan is, and he's doing an amazing job with it, man. Kudos to you, dude. Like, who is going to come up with a character like that in today's day and age? You know what? He's a throwback to me. He really is. And you guys that are fans of his, I know James Chadwick isn't, but he's a throwback to me to like 80s wrestling, because he's coming up with these gimmicks that you wouldn't normally see in today's day and age in wrestling of today. So kudos to him. And I love the Karate Man thing. I think that was awesome. So that's another thing that we have of many, many things to look forward to in Impact now. Everybody was thinking Ethan's gone because his contract was supposed to be up, but who knows how he's going to play this off. But kudos to him doing that. I thought that was fantastic. I got I marked out to that. So and we got a laugh out of it at the same time. Great stuff. So so there's my number one. Top three, guys. There it is. We are done with our top three for this week. We hope you had some mark out moments this past week as well. We really do, because that's what it should be. That's what wrestling should be all about. All right, man. What have we got next?
All right. Well, I think it's time, man.
I know what's coming.
Here we are. Here we are.
Ring that bell. Ring that bell. Sell or no sell? Our debate portion of the show. Yes. Love this section. Always did, always will. I love doing this. And yeah, let's get started. So there you go. Topic number one on the screen. New Japan Pro Wrestling should be added to the Impact AEW partnership. Sell or no sell? I'm going to say should be added to the AEW Impact partnership. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. Yeah, I'm going to sell it because of what I want to see. Now, there's already some Twitter garb going on here, right? There's already some Twitter stuff happening here between New Japan because of what's happened. They're starting to talk about the Bullet Club now too, because now then there's been a lot of people who've asked us, isn't the Bullet Club part of New Japan? So how are they going to use that without, we don't know, because yes, it is. It's very much still in play there. And if you go on to Twitter, you'll see that they are talking about that very thing. So should they be added to the partnership? Yes, because of that factor. Because now what you can do is you can maneuver Kenny around almost as a traitor. You can maneuver him almost as you've been to New Japan. You've been over there with all this stuff, but now you're doing this just so what's going on here? And you can have almost an instant feud built up anyway. And then Kenny's going to have to get some more ranks in his team and maybe even grow that Bullet Club a little bit more. But yeah, I'm going to say sell because like Jeff had said more, prior on this show, it would just be amazing to see. And if they want to combine it, like Jeff had mentioned, and do this in a big New Japan pay-per-view, the eyes they're going to get on that pay-per-view. The eyes they're going to get on that pay-per-view. We already saw Chris Bay is going to be involved with New Japan. The Good Brothers have said. Now, is this all what they had talked about? The Good Brothers said they wanted to be involved with New Japan. Well, this is an easy in. So, yes, I think so. I think it should be. I think it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm going to sell it.
I love it.
And for all the reasons that you mentioned, I honestly believe it. And I want people to kind of understand where we are with this, because you pick up little subtle things with discussions around the Bullet Club. When Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles had the OC, that was a reference to the club. Mm-hmm. And the OC stood for the original club, the only club that matters.
Yep.
Who do you think they're talking about? That's Bullet Club all day long. I thought it was interesting that Kenny actually brought up the words Bullet Club on Tuesday night, because I thought he was just going to say the club.
Yep.
And then and a lot of the things that you've seen on Twitter since then have been about, the club. That's what Anderson and Gallows have been putting out there, the club. And then you start getting Tomotonga and all these other people talking about, we're the real Bullet Club.
Yep.
I think it's all a work. I think Kenny was intentional in dropping that, because I think this is bound to happen. Now, I think it's probably closer than we think, but I think, a few things have to be worked out first, especially between AEW and New Japan.
Yep.
Because the relationship is going to be there for Impact and New Japan. We've already seen them working together. That was a part of the stipulation for the Good Brothers to sign at Impact. So I think it's only a matter of time before we see some Bullet Club guys that are currently in New Japan, Jay White, come over and be a part of this. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, how would you like to see a Rich Swann, Kenny Omega, Jay White triple threat?
Yeah.
And I'll just leave that there.
Yeah. There's so much that can happen here. Big Dan says, I'd love to see Tonga with Roman and the Usos in a heel bloodline stable. Tonga's the guy that you should go check out his Twitter, by the way, because he's the one who's been doing all this stuff with the since this happened on Tuesday. He's been the one that's been very vocal, showing pictures of what he says is the real Bullet Club. So this is out there. This is out there. And I would not be shocked one little bit if this does happen. Awesome Sauce says hello. Hello to you, Awesome Sauce, 20091. Elijah Washington, hello to you. I think I might have had a couple other people sneak in here. Little T, hello. Gamer Guy, hello. Oh, Texas Star Fan, hello to you. Welcome. Yes, but there we go. So we both agree that we need to sell this. Absolutely. All right. What's topic number 2?
All right. And I'm getting some Jay White love out there. So I don't feel alone on the train there. Even nice. I'm not mad at you, Elijah. I want to see Jay White and Finn Balor as well as Jay White and AJ Styles, as well as Jay White and Kenny Omega. There's a lot of those.
Jay White versus someone. Yes.
There's a lot that I want to see, but no, I'm all in on that. So topic number 2, WWE is at risk of becoming an afterthought in wrestling. Sell or no sell?
Wow, man. The key words there are at risk. Sell. Yeah.
Ooh. I love it.
That was tough.
That was tough. You struggled with that one.
Yeah. Look, do they have some good things going? Yes. I mean, The Fiend being 1, Roman being 2, some of their women's matches. But like I said, if you can rip one person off of a show and that the rest of that show kind of stinks, not good. It's not good. You can't do that kind of stuff anymore. You can't do it when you've got some competition. You can't do that. You can't have a show that you could just say, I don't care. I'm just going to throw out there what I want to throw out there, and you're going to like it. It doesn't work that way because people can look at something else. People can get behind something else. So that risk, will it is one thing. Russell said, no way, it'll never happen. Will it? If the words there were will it, or it is going to, I would probably have no sold it. Because do I think it will? I don't think so, just because of the fact that it's a big, big, big brand. It's been out there forever. And even if something along the lines happens that we kind of rumored saying that they're going to get bought, if they go to Disney and they get bought out by Disney, then it ain't going anywhere because Disney will figure out how to market it. But the fact that it says is at risk, it is. It is. And I never thought I'd say that. I never thought. You asked me this question a year ago. 1 year ago. I would have told you were crazy. But now? I said it before. You got to do some stuff, man. The one thing else I'll say is this. We kept saying time after time after time, okay, this is going to fix it. Okay, this is going to fix it. Okay, the draft is going to fix it. It hasn't fixed it.
Right.
They pushed some things around, but it hasn't fixed it. Now we're hearing rumors of other things. Now we heard Keith Lee is going back to the Performance Center. Now we heard Otis is going back to the Performance Center. Now, so and that's not a bit necessarily a bad thing. Guys have to work on their craft, and I'm okay with that. If they're going to go get sent down and they need to really work on some stuff, people maybe saw something they didn't like in both of them, and that's fine. But what is your ambition? Where are you going? And you have to have a plan. You have to have some sort of a long-term plan at where you're going. We know Bray can tell a story, right? We know Roman can tell a story. Roman and Paul Heyman can tell a story. Other than them, where are you heading? Where are you heading? You had Bayley was the women's champ. She held it for a long, long time. You knew where it was going. You knew where that was going to be. Where are you heading?
Yep.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Go ahead, Jeff.
Listen, man. I think a lot of people are saying no. We've got a lot of no sales, and
I'm sure, and that's fine.
And that's fine. You can feel how you want to feel, and that's cool. That's your opinion. But listen, I love it. I'm gonna sell it too. And here, and I want to shout out Moda because he just mentioned the reason why I'm selling this. WWE is being very reactive while other promotions are being proactive. That's why we are having a Firefly Inferno match for ratings buys, because I think they are sort of desperate. Yes. In this game, in this business, you're either an innovator or you're behind the times. Back in the day, WWF was an innovator.
Yep.
Then WCW became the innovator. They got real stupid with their money. And then WWE figured out what they were going to do to change this, and they became the innovator again.
Attitude Era. Yep.
Attitude Era. That changed the business.
It did.
Now, all these years where there were no real threats to the throne that was WWE, that is WWE, then you get AEW. And they do things just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't enjoy all the things that they do, they have done quite a few things that have changed the business.
Yep. It's
not all about WWE anymore.
Yep.
It's just not. I mean, it's still a destination. A lot of wrestlers see it as the pinnacle. You look at, people that we just saw leave Impact. You look at Wentz, you look at Dez.
Yep.
They wanted to go to WWE because for them, that's been a lifelong dream. Mm-hmm. But as we continue to go down this road, there are going to be less and less professional wrestlers that see WWE as a destination. Mm-hmm. They're going to see it as a place that is going to make me into a robot. They're going to make my performance cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. They're going to dictate everything I say on social media and not allow me to be who I really am. Yep. I can go to Impact, have great matches at Impact or AEW, and I can work at other places too. And I'm not locked into a contract. Yep. So for me, unless WWE does something within the next year, they're going to start to lose in my opinion, I think they'll start to lose that factor of this is the pinnacle of professional wrestling. Because now, with the internet and with as many streaming options as we have out there for us to consume, you don't need the big production value of WWE anymore. Fight TV has proved that to us. Yep. So that I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but that's why I think this is a sell for me, and hopefully I mean, because WWE does make the business better. I hope they get their act together so it can feel like, so wrestling can feel a different way again. But right now, it just feels like the old dinosaur is becoming extinct, and we're seeing a new breed come up, and that's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Elijah says, "What's up?" Sorry, I didn't say what's up. Oh, you're good, dude. Yeah, no, man, I agree. You want another quick example of this, and I'll give it to you from my retail side of my job. There is a company, you may have heard of them, called Apple, right? Apple years and years ago used to be an innovator. Apple used to come out with the newest thing. Everything you saw was there. When Steve Jobs was still around, probably this, and it may have changed but they used to have all of the innovative stuff. They used to come out with all the new things. You know what they are now? They're reactive. They've become reactive. They now react to what Samsung does. Samsung does something, Apple does it. I've seen it. I've seen it for the past 3 or 4 years now. And that's how it goes. They have become reactive instead of proactive. They've thought to themselves, you know what? We're Apple. Who gives a damn what other people do? Nobody cares. We can throw out a phone that's a piece of junk, and they don't care. They'll buy it because there's an Apple on it. I mean, they can probably throw out a set of number 2 pencils, and it has an Apple on it, and people will spend $10 for them. And there are people that are like that, right? Yeah. But this day and age, people are getting smarter. They're getting smarter. They're reading things on the internet. They're fact finding. They're finding things out about stuff, and they're starting to realize, you know what? That iPhone's a piece of crap. There's not a lot going on in there. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this Samsung Note 20 because the iPhone doesn't have this. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have this. So there's another great example of that. That happens in big business. And so, yeah, no, man, I agree. I agree 100%. I agree. They've got to get back on the proactive track instead of the reactive track. Great comparison. Yep. All right, man. What is up next?
All right, man. All right. So the next one. See, we're talking about more options out there. Ring of Honor and Major League Wrestling, MLW, are positioned to have a big 2021.
This is a great question. And again, I cannot come out and say I know a lot about MLW. I've heard of them. I know some of the athletes that are there. Have I watched it? No. Ring of Honor, I started getting into a little bit, like I said, when I watched that Pure tournament, and I see they're doing some things. Of course, now EC3 is wrestling there. I know that they're bringing in Danhausen, who is a big name on the indie circuit. So that's something as well. They're bringing some indie wrestlers into ROH. There are names there also. So, why not? Why not? Look, a lot of these companies have had to go from, I'm going to, I'm going to sell it because like I said, I'm going to sell it because why not? And I think 2021 could be the biggest party ever. If all of this stuff comes and goes, everybody gets their vaccines and everybody gets past this big black cloud that's hanging over us, you're going to see parties like you ain't never seen before, man. You might see bands reunite that you thought were long gone. You might see, and wrestling, these smaller companies are going to get their crowds back. People are going to be wanting to go to live events. They're not going to be able to get tickets maybe for WWE because one of the things that these companies are going to do, and mark my words, they're going to drive up ticket prices, man. They're going to need to make some of this income back, and they're going to drive their ticket prices sky high. You are going to have a tough time getting a ticket even to a WWE house show if they're even still going to do them. So what better way to do it than go to, and even AEW shows for them are going to be tough to come by. So what better way to do it than when you can see some of these smaller companies out there get a relatively nice price ticket to be able to go and watch a wrestling show. And like I said, what I have seen from them, and I have to watch more because I'm curious about them, but from what I've seen of them, the Ring of Honor stuff is very different. It's not for everyone. Not for everyone, but when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is cool. It's different. It's something completely different from what I'm seeing. So are they positioned to have a big 2021? I would think so, especially if they can get fans back into the building. And that's why I'm selling it, because I do think that that's going to happen. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. I love it. I'm gonna make it real simple. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to take too long on this, but if you have not seen Ring of Honor or MLW, look on YouTube, Fight TV.
Yep.
I'll just say it, man. They are tremendous, tremendous shows. And yet again, other options for wrestling.
More choices. Mm-hmm.
And I think, if there's any advice I can give to wrestling fans today, is just because you've watched one thing your entire life doesn't mean that you won't enjoy something better once you give it a try.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some of you who cringe at all of the comedy and all of that stuff that goes on in WWE, and you'll look at Ring of Honor and you might be like, that's it. That's exactly what I'm looking for in a wrestling show. Go check it out. Same thing. You might look at MLW and say, you know what? This has the type of style and feel that I like.
Yep.
Let me check this out a little bit more. I'll go ahead and tell you guys right now. I mean, I'm a consumer of every type of wrestling that's out there because I love professional wrestling that much. Mm-hmm. And, being a former professional wrestler, I just want to consume as much of it as I can. And I don't want to take a lot of credit, but one of that in and of itself helped us navigate towards Impact. Yeah. Because I mean, when I was selling it to Joe like crazy. I was like, listen, man, Joe, you got to check out Impact. You got to check out Impact. Their Knockouts division is just as good, if not better, than WWE's women's division. Yep. And he thought I was crazy as crap the first time I told him that. And then he was like, I need to go check it out. And once he started watching, it's like, holy crap, I'm into this. And it's just one of those things where if you just look at one different show, whether it's GCW, whether it's Ring of Honor, MLW, whatever it is, the collective, whatever you look at, you might find something that you really like. Mm-hmm. And yes, I was just going to say that if you're a WWE fan or an old school wrestling fan and you remember the Von Erichs, there's a third generation Von Erichs tag team. Davey Boy Smith Jr., Hammerstone. I'll just name a few. Just go check out. Just go check out MLW. I promise you, it's at least worth you checking it out, and you can decide from there if you like it or not. So that's just my push for, and Leo Rush is there now in MLW. Yeah. Just go check them out. Go check them out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's like Jeff said, and I see Conrad agrees. Look, it's just like Jeff said, there's options. You don't have to, if you're finding something wrong, and I agree, with what Jeff said about Impact. Who would have thought, like, I would get to the end of 2020 and Impact is my favorite show in wrestling? Never in a million years. I never would have thought. I mean, I figured, okay, last year we had AEW starting, and I figured, all right, let me start watching AEW and let me check that out and stuff like that. And I didn't really consider anything else. I'm like, okay, WWE, AEW, NXT is going to be kind of the big thing. I'm just going to go back and forth and just watch what, and then when he told me about Impact, and I think a couple other people showed me some things from Impact when they showed me. And then when I started to sit down and watch it, and listen, it's not necessarily an easy thing sometimes to join them in between, because you're going to have to learn a lot. You have to sit down. You're going to have to learn who the wrestlers are, watch their matches, sometimes go back on YouTube and see some of their stuff that they did before. So it takes a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it's amazing. I never would have thought that would have been the case. And I'm thrilled that I did it. And I thank Jeff for it all the time. I'm thrilled that I did it, because I never, ever would have thought I would have gotten into something that much that I could have said, that is my now my number. That's my go-to show. It's literally my favorite show to watch. Mm-hmm. It literally is. And who would have thought? So, like Jeff said, it's just something else that if you're unhappy, right? If you're mostly a WWE watcher and you're not happy with it, give them a shot. Give somebody else a shot. Maybe you tried Impact, maybe it's not for you. There's other things out there. That's all we're saying. There's other things out there. And you may like it. Like Jeff said, if you come from a background that you kind of like the college, like the collegiate wrestling, you kind of like more, just wrestling, not so much promos, not so much Ring of Honor, pure tournament. That's right up your alley. Mm-hmm. That is right up your alley because that's what it is. That's what it is.
All technical.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's mat wrestling. And if that's what you like, you've got an option. You have other options. That's all we're saying. And like Jeff said, Fight TV, who's been gracious enough to kind of partner with us a little bit, they've given us codes and things to give out. And we'll have codes for other shows. We had codes for a Lucha show. We had some codes that they give us for other things that you can get to try this stuff if you win a code. So, yeah, just give things a shot. That's really all we're saying. Because you never know when you might like something that you never thought you would before. So, yes, sir. All right. That is it, I think, from Sell or No Sell. Am I right?
Yes.
All right.
And, we have another segment that we kind of debuted last week. And, we really didn't have a name for it. And I don't know that we still have a name. I don't know if this is going to stick, but sounding off.
Sounding off. Yes. And
this is where we
go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, that I sounded off last week on Retribution, and I'm still sounding off on Retribution. Go ahead.
Okay, so this week for me, man, AEW. Let's have a chat for a second. You have some brilliant women on your roster. You have a megastar in Thunder Rosa. You have Britt Baker. You have Sheeta. I could go on. You have Big Swole.
Dr. Britt Baker.
Yes. Please do me a favor. Stop putting them in segments that only last 4 minutes, that don't really lead to anything, and then play an advertisement for AEW heels during that segment. That is a slap in the face to women that you're trying to get into to see your product. That's a slap in the face because you've got all this talent, but you rarely use it. I'm sorry, but with all of the wrestling options that are out there, I don't have time to sit and watch 14 matches on AEW Dark every Tuesday. I just don't. Give me more of your women's division on Dynamite. If you don't want to do that, you know what? Make AEW Dark all about them and just be done with it. Just say, you know what? We're going to make everything on AEW Dark all about the women.
Yep.
That's it. Other than that, stop parading around like you're trying to introduce us to different things, but you're not utilizing your talent. I don't want to see Thunder Rosa in some stupid backstage thing. I want to see her in the ring. I want to see her cut a promo, and then I want to see her in the ring for a 15 to 20 minute match. That's what I want to see. You want to get these folks over, they have to get time. They have to get time. You can't expect someone to be invested in your women's division when you're not invested in giving them the time that they deserve. And you know what? There are people out there that say, well, they just don't feel like the women's wrestlers are ready yet. Then you know what? That's an AEW problem. That's not a fan problem. If you don't think that they're ready, then doggone it, get them ready. You have several wrestlers on your roster that own and run and operate wrestling training schools. If you feel they're not ready, guess what? Send them to one of your wrestlers who has a wrestling school. Work on their promos. Do all of the things that you feel they aren't up to par with and work on them. But you know what? They're never going to get over any more than they are right now until you give them the time to do so. So don't tell me that you want to give someone a 2-minute promo and then expect as a fan, as a casual fan, I'm supposed to care about what this feud is about. Last thing I'll say is this. You bring in all this talent. You brought in Tay Conti. You brought in, I'm pretty sure Thunder Rosa is going to tell us at some point that she has signed a contract.
Yep.
Guess what? Women's match, one women's match on a pay-per-view for 10 minutes doesn't make up for all the lack of time that you don't give them. So, you know what? That's my sounding off for the week. I've said it before, but it just seems like they haven't figured out yet that the fans are calling for more matches from their women's division. And until we get that, I got to take issue with AEW. I mean, the stuff that you do in tag team wrestling, great, phenomenal. It's a little spotty at times. I'll give you that. I know people like to say, there's a little too many flips and all that stuff. And if you're not into that type of wrestling, you probably don't like it. And I completely understand. Yep. But you're doing so many things right, but the things that you're doing wrong, and there are a couple, it's a problem. So that's it. I'm done.
No, it's a perfect point. And it's not being fixed. It's not being fixed. Yeah. And like you said, when you have your competition and NXT is having, do you think it's not being done on purpose that NXT is having women's matches almost every single week as their main event?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
wonder why they're doing that. Yeah, because they know they've got their women's spotlighted. They know they're not afraid to spotlight their women. And yeah, when you're going to do that, that's how you're going to go after that other company. So if you have a weakness, fix it. It's not that hard. It's not like you have a crap division that you shouldn't spotlight. You've got good athletes there. Yeah. There's no reason why you shouldn't have them at the forefront of your show. There's no reason why you can't have a women's match when you're running 7-on-7 tag team matches.
Oh, good God.
Like, why?
See, why? I've already stopped, so I'm not going to go into that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, why? Like, why would you do? You know what I mean? Like, time better spent, right? And again, yeah, that's a great one, Jeff, and it's been something that's ongoing. And if they want to improve, that's, again, we talked about WWE having to improve. That's one of the ways that AEW needs to improve. There's no question. There is no question. So sounding off, mine, and I'm not just doing this because of the guys in the chat, but stop bringing Goldberg back. Just stop. It's over. It's done. And I'm not just saying it to be a jerk to people in the chat, but please just stop. Goldberg needs to be done. He needs to be done. And look, the guy had a great career. He was killer. And when you think about him and you go back and you watch the things that he did in WCW, he was a monster. Man, nobody wanted to face this dude. He'd come out and he'd win every single week. No question. He was undefeated, had a streak going. He was involved with Hollywood Hogan. That match, and you go back to say this was the fall of WCW because they didn't put that match on a pay-per-view. He beat Scott Hall and Hogan the same night. I mean, he was an absolute beast. Now he's a shell of himself. Putting him out there more, and now if he's signing these contracts or he's going to be on at least 3 shows a week, Just stop, man. Just stop. Vince, if you want to pull that card and you want to bring the legends back into the game, call someone else. Call someone else who's maybe not so old, who maybe can't even do his finishing moves anymore. Just stop, man. Like, literally spend that money on someone else. Like Jeff said earlier, if you're going to bring back CM Punk, spend the money on CM Punk. Respects to Goldberg, all respect to him. And I'm not saying, like I said, he had his place in history and he will always be remembered for that. But when you trot these guys out time after time after time, and it's just the dude can't do his finisher anymore. He couldn't pick up Bray. I mean, that's a sign, guys. That's a sign that you have to stop. It's done, man. Stop playing that card. Stop playing that card. And the other thing that goes along with this too, start giving the young guys a shot. Start bringing up your young talent. This is something that I will give kudos to AEW for. They're bringing up their young guys, man. They're going to have a future in 15 to 20 years, right? They're going to have guys that can carry that company. You're seeing it now. They're getting involved. I mean, Sammy Guevara, he's going to be a big star.
Darby.
You're right, Darby Allin. They're going to be stars, man. They're going to be the base of your company. Who does WWE have? I mean, you've got Bray, you've got Roman, but they're not young bucks anymore. They're not guys who have been, they're not super, super old. They can be around for a bunch of years yet, but you got to have some guys in their 20s maybe that you need to bring up. Stop with these legends. It's not working anymore. It's embarrassing almost. And it's just not working anymore with certain guys. Goldberg is one of them. Just stop, man. Stop with the I get 3 matches a year business. You're not going to Saudi right now, and I understand if you did that because of Saudi Arabia, I get it. Saudi loves legends. They like those guys and stuff like that. But my God, I'd rather have them bring back, I don't know, think of somebody, I'd rather have them bring back Kane and do 3 matches a year. I'd rather have them bring back, other people that have been out of the business for, bring back the Bella Twins. Bring back people like that and give them a couple matches. But stop with Goldberg, dude. It's done. And just like I said, this whole thing with Roman, what are you going to get with it? What are you going to get with this? Roman Reigns is going to squash the dude, make him bleed all over the place in the ring, totally destroy him and wipe him out? Really? Do you want to walk away from a ring like that? You go back to what Undertaker said and how Undertaker doesn't want to have any more matches because he wanted perfection. Well, dude, doesn't that make you think? What does Goldberg want? Is he all about money? Is he really that dude that just wants a paycheck? Wow. Okay. There are people like that. Maybe he needs the money. I don't know. But yeah, man, it's over. It's over. And just stop.
I'd like to add one thing to that Goldberg said himself in his special that's on the WWE network right now. Yes, I sat through it. No, it was actually good. I mean, it was good because, I remember the streak growing up, being a WCW homer and all that stuff. Here's what I'll say about, his own quote. He said, when you get in a ring, you better be able to hit your finisher on everyone because you never know who's going to show up in a match. And you better be able to do your own moves. Goldberg, take your own advice.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
you and it's nothing personal against Goldberg. I've been a fan of Goldberg, but my problem is it's time now for the younger guys. If you want to come back out every now and again and hit your theme music and people go nuts, that's fine. But you should not be automatically injected into a title match just because your name is Goldberg and you had a undefeated streak at one point, what, right, 15, 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like over 20 years ago.
Yep.
Just stop. Pass the torch to these young guys. And here's the other thing, folks, that I want to say to you is people keep talking about Keith Lee being the next up and comer. Keith Lee is 36 or 37 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not a spring chicken. So you have to look even deeper into your roster to get those younger guys that we're talking about 15, 20 years from now could be the folks that we look to, as the legends and the GOATs. You got to look deeper down. And if you're not going to develop those people, if you're not going to give them opportunity now, then what people are saying is correct. And you'll never have a major star in WWE again. It'll just be a bunch of people carrying the company flag and interchangeable.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, so there you go. There's our sounding off for the week. I hope you enjoyed that because, like you said, sometimes you got to have the positive and sometimes you just got to get some stuff off your chest. So yeah, good to do that. And yeah, I loved it. Loved it. All right, guys. I know we're coming up on 2 hours. We've had you for a while. So what to watch for? Yes. We have TLC coming up. And so we have our TLC preview show this coming Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is where we will talk everything Bray. We'll talk all about the Bray theories. What do we think this match is going to be among all the other matches as well? We'll talk about that with Tazzy, with Jody, myself, Jeff, maybe Brandy. I hope she's feeling well. Maybe she'll just chime in a little bit. We'll see. Maybe she'll be in chat. But yes, we have that on Saturday. So make sure you join us for that. And then, of course, Sunday is the big one, TLC. Streaming live on the network. Join us for the watch along on TLC. We'll get back to you with a time on that. It'll probably be 6:45. That's usually when we start. If that's the case, I'll be along as soon as I get home from work. So it'll be Jeff, Jody, and Tazzy. We'll start you guys off, and then I'll be back for probably about 7:30-ish in and around there. So yes, come and join us for TLC as well. And then, of course, we have Abby's Window will definitely be a reaction show.
Yeah.
That will definitely be a reaction show on Monday. So make sure you join them for Abby's Window on Monday as well. And then, of course, we start the week over. We go back to Impact. Now, Impact will be a little different because it's just going to be an awards show for the next couple of weeks. But we do ask you to join us anyway because you never know. They might run promos. They might have some new matches being made and stuff like that for some of these upcoming pay-per-views. So join us on Tuesday for Impact also. So there you go. All right, Jessi. Warming up the band, Jessi Calynn. It is time for Calynn Corner. And, I said this on Twitter, Jeff. I literally thought that Jessi was in that Thunderdome with a cue card showing Bray Wyatt the jokes that Bray was saying. I said that to Jessi. I'm like, did you give Bray those jokes? Because if not, and Bray, if you ever listen to our show, you might have a joke writer.
Yeah,
you might just have a joke writer. I'm sure Jessi be ready, willing, and able to share her humor with you if you ever need any more backstage jokes for Funhouse Bray. So, all right, Jessi, we've warmed up the band. We're ready to roll. It is your time now, Jessi Calynn. So, as always, we like to leave you a little laugh before we go. We hope you all enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed seeing our shining faces on the screen for the very first time. It has been a long time coming, so I hope that you are enjoying the video part of it as well. Wow, 7 jokes tonight from Jessi. So. There we go. Jessi's working. Jessi's working.
She is.
Larissa wants to know if she can. Yeah. Ask away. Ask away.
I know we can ask us something.
Ask away. We can read chat while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Bray left and definitely let Jessi in. Yeah, he did. He did. It is time for Calynn Corner comedy, says Hayden Garrett. Yes, it is. It is that time.
And folks, let us know what you think about the presentation of this now that we are doing video. If you like how it looks, let us know, because I take a lot of your comments and everything into consideration, and I want to make the show as visually pleasing as I can. So just let me know what you think.
See Wrestling says a joke writer. You mean a joke Google copycat? Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Poor Jessi. Big Dan said Willie Nelson got his car shoveled. It's on the road again. Oh, Big Dan coming up with some stuff here. Nice. Very nice.
That's a good one.
Very nice. I have 7 because I don't know if all of them will actually be funny. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Tazzy says, this is awesome, Mr. Graphics. Tazzy calls Jeff Mr. Graphics, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how things happen, isn't it? Like, we didn't even consider starting doing video, and then all of a sudden we did video, and now we're doing video. So who would have thought? Who would have thought? Let's see. Can I recommend that you broadcast in 3D? Good Lord, no.
No.
No, I don't think so, Rusty. But thank you for that suggestion. Hayden says it's awesome to see your guys' faces. Thank you, Hayden. Do we have TikTok, Larissa? No. I couldn't even tell you the first thing about how to use that. My daughter uses it all the time. She's always out making TikTok videos. You know what? I literally tried to do an Insiders one way back when, but I found myself never using it because I'd go and try to like make a marketing video for it, like to say we were doing something, and I didn't realize that you're timed out and you get cut off. So I didn't use it after that. So yeah. Okay, are we at number one? Are we at number one? I'm a joke Google copycat. See what of it, but I'm funny even without them, says Jessi. All right, here's number 1. The word gullible isn't in the dictionary. The word gullible isn't in the dictionary. Okay, all right, I get it. I get it. All right, I get it. Yeah,
that was a delayed drum, but
that was it. That took a little thought. But okay. Rusty says, "Nice try, Jessi." LOL. Number 2, man, gravity always gets me down. Oh, now see, I like that. I like that one. That's nice. That was funny. That was good. That was enjoyable. I like it. It's funny because it is. Rusty said, yeah. Jessi said, that's why they're always extras. See, she's prepared. Sonny gave that one an 8 out of 10. The first one a 9 out of 10. So there you go. Sonny has them a little bit backwards from what I had, but okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. Who's your number 3? Which building has the most stories? A library. Oh, okay. Very clever. We got some clever stuff coming in. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Like clever stuff coming from Jessi tonight. Question is for Tazzy, Jeff, and Joe. Who's your favorite wrestlers from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT? Wow, that's a lot of information. Ooh. Maybe we could answer that on Sunday during the pay-per-view when Tazzy's here. All right, number 4. I'm glad I learned sign language. It comes in pretty handy. Oh, nice. Nice. I like that one. Very nice. Very nice. Clever. To show you how bad TikTok is, people were TikToking in line while waiting for rides at Universal when we were there a week and a half ago. Oh, yeah, that's really not the time or place to be doing that. All right, number 5. I would tell a joke about pizza, but it's a little cheesy. Oh, nice. Nice. Very nice. 10 out of 10, said Brandon. They like that one. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. I always want to eat popsicles after I'm done with the Calynn Corner because I just want to uncover those popsicle sticks with the jokes on them. Calynn Corner number 6. A joke becomes a dad joke when the punchline becomes apparent. Oh,
That's a good one right there.
that was your best one so far.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Very, very good. C said, Jessi, you've said that cheesy one before. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Tazzy said, Jessi, I see you. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that 10 out of 10. Yeah, that was a good one. Larissa says, my favorites are Drew McIntyre, Adam, I guess that's Adam Cole, Kitten, aka Leon, and Dominic. Very nice. Yeah, we could talk about that on a different show for sure. Last but not least, we all need these. And I knew y'all would like that one. LOL. Well, you were correct. You were absolutely correct. We did. So we got one more. One more. And then we will say goodbye. We know we had you guys for a long time tonight. We had you for 2 hours, which we appreciate you sticking around. Did we get our last one yet? Do you know why Phil Collins likes summer? No jacket required, says Big Dan. Oh, very nice. Very nice. All right, here we go. Last one. Anyone in need of a pickup line? Here goes. Are you fire? Because you're hot and I was s'more. Oh. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, Jessi. My goodness. See, we don't need Raw. We don't need Raw. We don't need R-Truth because we have Jessi Calynn. We have our own R-Truth. And Jessi's comedy is, very good. Very good. Always good to end the stream on a laugh. Thank you so much, Jessi and Dan, for throwing some jokes out there, too. Thank you very much for doing that. Always brightens our evening. Oh, you had a typo in there?
Yeah, and I want more. I want more.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay. All right. Okay. That's all right. You're allowed a typo. Hayden says 7 out of 10. All right, guys, that is our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed listening to some of the highlights of this past week in wrestling, which was absolutely crazy. So much stuff going on. Before we go, obviously, like I said, our 2 shows, I told you about those, what we have coming up for the weekend. Don't forget to check out Tazzy's stream tomorrow night. He should have a tailgate and an after party, I believe, Tazzy. Are you doing both tomorrow? Let us know in the chat. If so, make sure you join Tazzy's stream. Always does good stuff before and after SmackDown. Usually, I think he's running it at 7 now. So it starts at 7 o'clock before the show starts. And then, of course, right after the show is over, Tazzy will be there. I know C Wrestling has a stream that he does on Fridays. He just does kind of a, go and check it out and kind of chat with C kind of a thing. So make sure you check that out as well. So many people doing so many things. Jessi I don't know if Jessi did her prediction video yet. I know Jessi usually does that kind of stuff. Tazzy says yes, both tomorrow. So there you go. So cool. Lots of people in our community are doing stuff. I know Dave in real life does a lot of videos now. So Dave's fan does videos. So very cool. Shout out to all those guys and go check those guys out. When you have nothing, you have nothing to watch, or you think a night's going to be a slow night, whatever, and you just don't know what to watch. There's always something out there, and the community does a lot of that stuff. So that's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Jessi said it's coming. Okay. So Jessi's prediction video will be coming up too. I know she usually does one as well. So there you go. Oh, and like I said, make sure you're voting on our polls because I'm compiling all of this information for our awards, for our TIGS awards. This is good shit awards. Yes. We have those coming up at the end of the year. Also, I was able to put a poll on YouTube. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know you could even do that. I put a poll on YouTube. So if you stop by over on the YouTube page, make sure you vote in the poll. I didn't know you could do that. And it's cool because you actually have more options on YouTube than you do on Twitter. They only give you 4 options to put on Twitter. So yeah, go and vote on that as well. Remember to like our video before you head out. Remember to comment as well, like Jeff said. Let him know what you think about the graphics and things like that. Let us know if there's anything you think we missed or we could be doing better. That's the only way we get to learn and grow. So comment on the video. Obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so already. I know many of you already have. And share our content as well if there's anyone out there that you think may like to come over and see our beautiful faces on the screen. Let them know that too. So yes, guys, thank you so much for being with us. I know we ran over tonight, but we had a lot to cover. And thank you for sticking with us throughout the show. Thank you for being with us always. And like I always say, stay safe. Have a great rest of your night. And we hope to see you all very soon on our next show. Guys, good night. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.